Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my Superheavy Samurai deck. Now I got so many requests for this deck that I just, had to do it. I've wanted to do it for a while, definitely, but once I saw so many people asking for it, it made me more excited to try to build it. Superheavy Samurais are this archetype that are based on, staying in defense mode, but still being able to attack because of Big Benkei, which is the star of the deck. And I'll go over kind of how that works and how you can abuse things. It sort of looks like an OTK deck to start off, but I think with the OCG support that's coming, it's going to be more rounded out. I'll talk about the OCG cards when I get to the side deck. For now, it's a very small archetype, but once it gets filled in with those new cards, it's going to have a lot of other options available to it. So first off, we're going to be running 3 Giant Rat, so very important to search out all the Super Heavy Samurais. We can do some pretty cool things because when Big Benkei is special summoned, he can switch his battle position. So no negative, because usually the negative would be that the Giant Rat summon goes into attack mode, but because of that, we can kind of go around it, which makes these two cards, Giant Rat and Big Benkei, work really, really well together. And then 2 Magical Golem, really nice in this deck. Allowing our card to attack, directly, which is extremely powerful. We can set up OTKs and huge damage with this in Big Benkei because having his attack won't make any difference. Redox, nice in this deck. I really like it because you could dump one Big Benkei. If you draw into Big Benkei, it could be an issue, and he's kind of the star of the deck, so you want to get him out. So I like Redux for that, and obviously to special summon other things in the deck. Now we're running 3 of the other super heavy samurais. So Blue Brawler, really nice that he can't be destroyed by battle. Another wall that you have access to, and he'll be changed to defense position to benefit from the other stuff. And also Samurai Swordsman, pretty cool that again you can change their battle position. Always very good. And the fact that if something does attack it, they're going to lose their attack and defense, which is very powerful when you want to go over them with other cards. So very nice. 1 Dark Hole, 3 Forbidden Lance. Forbidden Lance more important in this deck than most because we want to do a few interesting things in order to make certain plays. Also helping us protect ourselves from back row, which could be the only real threat. Your opponent is not going to be able to break through Big Benkei's huge defense, so Forbidden Lance will be one of the important things to have out there. 2 Machine Duplication. So this card, extremely powerful in this deck because you can use Machine Dupe on Blue Brawler to make plays, but if you use Forbidden Lance on Big Benkei, you can use Machine Dupe. So you can get out 3 Big Benkeis in one turn without having that many cards available to you and still make really, really crazy plays with that. 2 Messenger of Peace, very nice in this deck. We're not going to be attacking with anything, with 1500 or more attack usually, so very, very powerful for this deck. 2 Pot of Duality, very nice to get specifically what cards you need so you don't draw into Big Benkei, so you can get Giant Rat fast, stuff like that. 2 Soul Charge, again very big in case you want to get Big Benkei back. Very important to have him on the field. 2 Trade-in, again another way to dump Big Benkei because of Soul Charge and Redux. We have some consistency there, so dumping him can be nice. And then we have 2 of Tryce, so this allows our Super Heavy Samurais to attack twice. Again, them losing attack doesn't mean anything for us, so Big Benkei will, have 2 3500 attacks available to him, which is extremely powerful. And then 1 Unity, pretty much an OTK card. You're using this to give one of your Big Benkeis, or really any card, a ridiculous amount of defense points, and then going for a kill with that, which makes it very powerful. For the traps, we're going to use not that many staples, a few of them, but we're focusing, on using what we really need to make this deck work. 2 D2 Shield, very big card for this deck, making our cards double their defense, which is just ridiculous in this deck. If someone makes the bad habit of attacking Big Benkei, they might lose a lot of points if you can activate this. Or, just going for those attacks with Big Benkei, he'll have 7,000, literally attack, which is just really crazy. And then 2 Fiendish Chain, another thing we really need to deal with effects that will really mess with our deck. So now for the extra deck, going to have a little bit of variety between 3, 4, and 8. 1 Castel, very powerful card. 1 Felgrand, if you have access to 8 stars, definitely run Felgrand. Exciton, Fairy King, just with our Earth monsters, can be nice to have. Gagaga Cowboy, Gigant, definitely to search out things for us. 1 Gorgonic Guardian, just because in case we do get magical golems, or Gorgonic Guardian is actually a very powerful card, so if you do have access to it, I would say to run it. 1 Hieratic Sun Dragon, another useful 8-star. Leviair, just in case, very nice to have access to. 2 Silent Honor, because we do have access to 4 stars, and there's not a lot of other XYZs I want in this deck, so why not run 2 of these? 1 Ragnazero, 1 Tachyon Dragon, another 8-star can be useful. 1 Leviair, and 1 Zen Mains. Again, staples you'd expect to see. Not too many specific ones to this deck, just ones you normally see in most decks. Not a lot of specific XYZs that are important to this deck, but there are some things you could do. You could run like Leviathan Dragon and send Big Benkei to the graveyard and do things like that, so I'm still throwing around some ideas like that. So now for the side deck, if you haven't seen a video of mine before, in the side deck I kind of just go through other recommended cards, other interesting choices that could be powerful for this deck. I really want to talk about the OCG cards. There's a few really interesting ones. Kabuto can be sort of interesting. I'm still kind of debating that one. The big important one, it seems to be Tenbin, because Tenbin can special summon a super heavy samurai, so you can make some big plays there. There's also the soul cards, which are just these equip cards for super heavy samurais. Some of these cards will really help protect the samurais from the things that will really annoy them, like card effects. So I think that will be very useful, especially Soulfire armor. So these are definitely something to keep an eye on. But obviously, I don't run OCG cards, so we'll just think about them from now. Maybe in my next build, I'll make some use out of them. You can also run Trap Stun, Royal Decree. This deck doesn't need traps, but I do like having D2 shield, so I would run Trap Stun over Royal Decree in this deck, but it's up to you. Spike Shield is another really powerful card. There's going to be a lot of these cards that can do some really interesting attack defensive things, and you'll probably list a huge amount of them. I'm not going to list all of them here, but there's a huge amount of them. You could do Battle Mania and set up an OTK, make your opponent attack Big Benkei, do activate with D2 shield. You could do some crazy stuff there. You can also use Seal. Again, no negative in this deck, similar to Magic Hole Golem. You can run this deck with Machinas, giving it some alternative kind of attacking engine, but I'm not really focusing on that. I'm focusing more on the defensive side of this deck. If you do run that, run Dracosac, things like that, because you do have access to Redux. Another card that looked really interesting for this deck is Black Garden. So if you have Black Garden on the field, yeah, your opponent is not going to be able to destroy Big Benkei through attacking. It's just not going to happen. They're going to need like 7,000 plus attack in order to do that. So Black Garden is a really nice lockdown card for this deck, but it creates a lot of other interesting situations on the field. So I'm still kind of debating it, but I can see it being really powerful for this deck type. And you can use the tokens as tributes for Big Benkei, and there's a few different things you could do. I'm not running it now, but sometime in the future I would love to try this deck with Black Garden. Another field card you can use is Acidic Downpour or Chorus Sanctuary. A bunch of those other cards that help your defense out could be powerful for this deck. So that's my super heavy samurai deck. Again, very highly requested. I hope I made you guys proud. It's very experimental, the build I'm doing. I'm very unfamiliar with these cards. I just started building with them. So this is, my first try at the deck. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I do think it has a really lot of power. And it's very easy to tech against this deck, but otherwise it's extremely powerful and it can do some really crazy things. The cards that you would tech against this deck are sort of neutralized by cards like Forbidden Lance and Trap Stun. You want to worry about cards like Dark Mirror Force or any cards that switch your defense to attack, like Enemy Controller or something like that. So Forbidden Lance is the card that you're going to use to try to protect you from that, and that's something you should think about going forward with this deck and what you're trying to build. Just think about what things could counter this deck and what you need to deal with them. But if you guys do have your own super heavy samurai decks, definitely post below. Let me know in the comments. You could talk about what cards you use. Like I said, there's a ton of cards that could be out in this deck that I probably didn't think about, or maybe I just didn't use. I was using Stumbling, but I don't think Stumbling is necessary because of how the super heavy samurais work. But there's just a ton of other cards, and I'm sure you guys will help me and list some below. And I really want to keep working on this deck and making it stronger as I go along. But that's about it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.